So there are many theories and rumors about Avengers 4. How are the Avengers gonna defeat Thanos? And right now I'm gonna run down some popular theories and rate the probability that they will actually happen, and examine all the evidence for and against. The Crafty probability ratings are definitely, probably, possibly, and not a chance. First one up is a big one, and that is that Avengers 4 will take place many years after Avengers Infinity War, after Thanos destroyed half of all life in the universe. Well, let's look at the evidence. Some leaked set photos show Tony, Ant-Man, and Cap in what looks like the events of Avengers in 2012. Ant-Man is wearing his upgraded suit, Tony has grey hair, like very grey hair, compare it with his hair in Infinity War. Gwyneth Paltrow also leaked that her and Tony have a child in Avengers 4. Pepper showed no signs of pregnancy in Infinity War, and it's unlikely that in Avengers 4 they're just going to have a newborn baby. There would be a lot more emotional resonance if the child is at least at speaking age, so that probably means that the child is going to be around 4, 5, or 6 years old. And I think that added to the fact that Tony has very grey hair, showing that certainly time has passed since Infinity War, and that they're going to have a child which is probably going to be around 4 or 5 years old, means that Avengers 4 probably will not pick up immediately after Avengers Infinity War. So what's the probability rating? In my opinion, definite. And the next theory is obviously implied from the first, and that is that Tony, Ant-Man, and Cap are going to travel back in time through the quantum realm to 2012 and get Loki to work with them to defeat Thanos. Thanos, of course, in 2012 was pulling the strings behind Loki in the Chitauri invasion of New York. And here again, we have some leaked set photos showing old Tony in a SHIELD uniform. We also see him in that same uniform later with Ant-Man and Cap. Significantly, they are all wearing the same device on their hands or wrists. Ant-Man's device is built into his suit, whereas Tony and Cap's device is a portable device. So that would indicate that they are using Ant-Man's technology, which of course means shrinking. And when you shrink down enough, you enter the quantum realm. The quantum realm is a place that exists outside of time and space. However, if you shrink too far, you'll get lost in the quantum realm. But in the comics, the quantum realm, or as it's known, the microverse, has been used as a gateway to be able to travel through space and time. However, if you shrink too far and get too far down in the quantum realm, which I think is why Cap, Tony, and Ant-Man have these devices on their wrists, it keeps them from shrinking too far and protects them from the dangers of traveling through the quantum realm. But you may be saying, Mr. Crafty, the Russo brothers came out and said these set photos, it's really just B.A.R.F, that these heroes are just reliving memories from the past. Yeah, right.
How do you feel about time travel as a device in film? Just curious, just a general question.
Big fan of the technique. Yeah, Back to the Future. So,
right. Yeah. If done well, you don't want to abuse that power, but you guys. I mean, if I would trust anybody, I feel like I would trust you guys.
Look, there's. It's interesting because yes, there are photos always leak, and then there's lots of conjecture about what those photos mean. Certainly, there is a very 5-minute sequence in Civil War around a piece of technology that was laid in for a very specific reason. So if you go back and look at that film, you may get a hint as to a direction.
Okay.
First of all, you hear Anthony saying he's a fan of the time travel technique. Then Joe comes out and out of nowhere brings up the leaked set photos on his own and tries to explain that that scene was actually B.A.R.F and not time travel. But he didn't ask about the set photos, he just asked about time travel, and then you brought up that scene. So could Joe Russo be telling the truth and that this is B.A.R.F, binarily augmented retro framing? Well, in Civil War it was used to relive past events to help people overcome trauma. However, Tony never wore a SHIELD uniform, so that's not a past event. In Civil War he used VR glasses for B.A.R.F and not these devices on their hands, which just happened to also be part of Ant-Man's suit, who wasn't there in 2012 in New York. He was in prison. However, I think that Joe Russo's statement, although misleading, does actually in a way confirm that this is taking place in the past in New York in 2012. I've heard other arguments that this can't be time travel because Cap doesn't have a beard and he's wearing his old suit. Well, in response to this, I think that it is part of the plan to switch out 2012's Cap with 2023 Cap, or however far in the future they're going. Cap is the only one who will look the same as he did in 2012 due to his super soldier serum, so they can swap him out, and it's probably part of the plan, as I said. So what's the probability of Cap, Tony, and Ant-Man traveling through the quantum realm to get back to 2012? I think definitely. Probability on them needing Loki? Definitely. Probability on this scene being B.A.R.F? Not a chance. Now the next theory is a big one, that the Avengers go to alternate realities, parallel universes, and take the Infinity Stones on that Earth and then bring it back to their Earth and use it against Thanos. The directors said that there are no what-if scenarios, that everything that happens in these movies actually happens, and there's no tangential reality, that if it happens, and there's no sort of, oh, it was all a dream or an alternate reality. Anthony Russo adds, I think that's because, the stakes are high, and in these films, we wanted to commit to those stakes. Having said that, we know that directors have misled us in the past, but in this case, I think they're being upfront with us. So the probability of the Avengers going to alternate realities to get the Infinity Stones, I'm gonna say, no chance. Don't hate me, internet! And now I saved one of the most interesting theories for last, and that theory is that Iron Man creates a new Infinity Gauntlet, and he wields all 6 Infinity Stones. Well, that is an awesome theory, by the way, and of course has comic book origins that I want to explain. In Avengers Volume 4, Issue 12, Parker Robbins, aka the Hood, tried to take over the Marvel Universe. He's imprisoned by the Avengers and managed to escape and goes after the Infinity Stones, as one does. They were hidden by the Illuminati, however, he manages to find 3 of them, which he just holds in his hand. Parker Robbins is attacked by the Avengers, who are trying to get the stones back. He jumps into the astral plane. He meets a person that he thinks is Thanos. Thanos tries to bargain with him, however, it's actually not Thanos, it's Doctor Strange, who had been using an illusion spell. He ejects the Hood from the astral plane, and the Red Hulk punches him with the Power Stone in his hand. And he punches him so hard that he drops all but one of the Infinity Stones, the Reality Stone. In desperation, he starts to mess with reality because he doesn't care about saving people, only about what he can get. And then suddenly, we see Tony Stark's Iron Man with the Infinity Gauntlet and all the Infinity Stones in them. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, explains that the Infinity Stones talk to each other and that they want to be as one in the gauntlet. Again, pointing to the fact, like I've said in previous videos, the Infinity Stones are sentient. Iron Man with the full Infinity Gauntlet contemplates creating a world without war, hate, jealousy, but decides that that wouldn't be the world in which we live and that no one would learn and progress. He even considers bringing his father back in Jarvis, but instead, all he does is 2 things. Firstly, he puts Parker Robbins, the Hood, back in prison. And secondly, he uses the gauntlet to wish the Infinity Stones and the gauntlet out of existence. But then on the next page, we find out that Tony actually didn't wish it out of existence and he just hid the gauntlet. And the Illuminati each take one of the stones. And Cap tells them that this time, they should find better hiding places. So back to the theory, will Iron Man wield the full Infinity Gauntlet in Avengers 4? Now man, I wish this were true, but sadly, I'm gonna give it a probability rating of only possible. In other words, less than 50%. Okay, so those are the theories I wanted to explore today. What do you think of my probability rating for each of those theories? So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it and then share it. And please also subscribe to the channel and enable notifications so that you don't miss out on any Crafty Media content. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers for now.